Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been crew cab heaven around here. There's two more here still. Anyway, we've been working on Project Farm Use, we've been working on the Lawn Ranger, and we have crew cab problems. So if you have a crew cab, this is something you really need to watch, because if you got a crew cab and your back locks don't work, your back windows don't work, okay, or you have intermittent issues with either of those two systems, the way that the wiring is ran in these trucks is terrible. So I'm going to show you what you run into with these. Now, we ran into this problem with Brent's truck here. We ran into the problem with Zach's truck here. I am sure we're going to run into those problems when we get into other crew cab trucks as well. So this is something that it's tedious. And if you have your truck torn down this far, it's worthwhile to do this even if you don't need it. So yeah, we're going to cover this a little bit. We already did the work, but I'm going to show you why we did the work and show you what we did to fix these problems. So, you know, you have back window problems where the windows don't roll up and down good, or they don't roll up and down at all, or your locks don't work, or they don't work at all. Now, this is not going to cover the linkage issues that are in the back doors for the locking system. The locks in the back of these doors are always really slow. There's too many mechanical linkages, too much to travel, too much to do. The lock actuators aren't strong enough to push through all of the linkage and all of the warpage in the linkage. So yeah, the locks working is one thing, the locks not working is what we're talking about. So, you know, not talking about slow locks. Now, this could attribute to slow windows. Now, the regulators in the back of these trucks kind of suck to change. However, they are changeable. The regulators aren't usually culprits, but we're talking about wiring if you haven't figured it out. So like I started this off with, if you have a crew cab and you have window problems or lock problems, and you know, you've got your truck put down to this stage, not even down this far, but if you have these problems, I'm going to show you what you have to absolutely do to fix these. Now, you cannot band-aid this. This is not something you can just, you know, really quickly fix and have it fixed, done. So, going to go ahead, show you the problem and show you the solution. So when you open up your door, this is your harness that goes from the door to your B-pillar. All right. This is all the longer that this harness is, and you can see this curve that's in this wiring, and you can see how these kind of work here. Now, the problem is this harness is super short. So you can see that it kind of comes out of the cab and goes up into the door. Now, it doesn't matter how big you make this harness or how long these wires are, the distance and the way that they enter the door is the problem. Now, if they would have taken this harness and put it up here and made it a little longer, make this radius a lot nicer, that would have been better. Heck, even up here. But there's no room for it up here. It has to be down here, the way these doors are designed. So what happens is you have a short distance to travel here, and what happens is these wires break right in the middle here. Now, there's usually a rubber protective coating over these, and the coating will crack and break. And usually right where that coating has broken, you'll see wires starting to break or already be broken. You cannot repair this wire right here with a butt connection or even a soldered connection, because all it's going to do is break right on the other side of it. And then you fix it again, it breaks right on the other side of it, breaks right on the other side of it, or even go this way. You cannot fix it in the middle of the door jamb. You cannot splice wires in the middle of these door jambs. So this is something that you have to remove completely, and then you have to repair it. So I'm going to show you what these wires look like when they start to fail and show you how to fix this. We have our wires here. Now, these are from the white crew cab here, so these are Project Farm Use. The one side, they weren't broken, so pretty sure these were the passenger side doors. This set of wires here is from the driver's side doors. Now, what I want to point out is these wires here, they have a bend in them already. This bend is from where they were constantly bending and bending and bending and bending. So these wires, they bend in the exact same spot, you know, every time you open this door. And if the door is shut for a long period of time, they're like this. Open the door, close the door, open the door, close the door, open the door, close the door. Okay? You get the idea here. So then what you get is you get this. You have broken coating. Okay? So now you're open the door, close the door. You know, you're working this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And eventually you get worse coating. So then the coating starts to crack and break off, and then you start to get broken wires. So you can see that this wire is completely broken here. Now, this is one strand in this set of wires. These are about a 14 gauge. So this coating gets hard over time. Like it doesn't, you can see it doesn't want to come back. So then now your bend from your open and close and open and close and open and close, now you're working the wires in this one tiny little spot, and this will eventually break. So you can see all of these have started to crack the coating, and what these are eventually going to do is break completely in half. So this is what it starts out as. So we have this wire that's already starting to hold its shape, and you can see I try to take it back and it wants to stay there. So these wires end up getting cut out and removed because we have to replace those. So here's what you end up getting. You get this. So we have a splice back here, and we have a splice up here. So we are on both sides of the joint. So these can bend and flex as needed here. And we replaced everything in between these two spots. Now we didn't replace the smaller gauge wires. That would be these guys here. These guys don't seem to have the same problems as the larger gauge wires. So we replaced these three wires. These still stay pretty flexible and don't really usually give us a problem. I rarely see these ones broken. It does happen, but you know, you can test these out and see if they are getting hard or not bending properly before you go through this. So what you have to do is you have to you cut all of this out. You have to de-pin your plugs here, remove these off of here, then take the boots off of the harness. You'll slide them down off. And there's actually a molded zip tie inside here that you have to dig off. So that's always fun to get out of here. So there's a zip tie right around this general area. You'll have to get in there with a pick and pick that out. Otherwise, you won't be able to slide this grommet back over your new splices. It won't let it happen. So this is a very time-consuming process. This takes a couple hours to do. If you're familiar with doing this job, you should be able to do this in about 2 or 3 hours without any issues. If you've never done this before, this could take you, you know, obviously a lot longer. So this is what you're going to have. We have our two harnesses here, and you have to put the boots back in the same places. Now, these boots can wiggle a little bit, which it's not a huge deal, but these have to go on the proper side. So we have the bigger grommet here towards the cab side, and, the bigger grommet goes towards the door side, the smaller grommet goes towards the cab side here. But this is a big problem for crew cabs, and I've seen it on almost every one that's been here where these wires are breaking and you have problems with them bending. Now, the suggestion for what wire to use. So we'll get into that. So wire. You're going to want to pick a wire type that is flexible. You want it to be able to flex and bend and twist and do whatever and then return to shape. Now, I twisted that up pretty good, but this is an oxygen-free copper, and this is specifically made as a speaker wire. Now, why speaker wire? Guys are like, why would you use speaker wire? Speaker wire has a lot more strands in it. makes it a little bit softer. Generally, the coatings on them are a little bit more soft and they don't get hard. So when you buy your automotive wiring, it's oil and fuel rated generally. It'll have larger strands. And what happens is you get into somewhere where they has to bend or twist and move. And what happens is it gets hard over time. And it will actually do the same thing that we are trying to avoid here. So I use a quality speaker wire. This stuff is pretty good. I use this a lot of places actually because it's got a nice good heavy jacket on it and has a good copper quality internally. So this is a 14 gauge pair, and what you can do is actually, keep them together like this if you're doing, twos, but I do believe you can get it in other colors other than red and black. But I use stuff like this because it will continuously bend and work and not want to break like your stiffer wire does. So your stiffer wire here, it doesn't want to bend, and it wants to keep a memory here. So if I twist this all up into a knot, it'll probably want to stay there. And then I try to, and there we go. Even if I try to straighten it out, it still wants to keep its bends, but it's very stiff. And that's the problem with these wires breaking. You get hard coatings, you get stiff, heavier gauge wire with larger strands in it. Now, granted, yeah, I know these have to carry power to the window motors. It's the way these trucks work. But that high stranded cable will carry power just the same as this does here. So I don't like to reuse automotive wiring if I don't have to, or if I do use an automotive wiring, I make sure I get something that has a softer jacket on it, because we do end up putting, a coating of something over these, and be it electrical tape or fabric tape or whatever, loom, whatever you want to put over them, but you're going to protect these wires from the elements. So you don't need to have it grease and oil rated. Plus, it's going to be technically not anywhere near grease and oil here in the door jambs. So this harder wire is not ideal for this. Now, granted, whenever this truck was made new, or this truck was made new, this was probably a lot softer. And over time, the coating just degrades. So, the high quality wire is worth buying. You don't want to go buy the cheapest possible wire you can get. BMWs are notorious for using soy coverings, and Ford as well. Your soy coverings attract mice, and well, over time they get very, very hard on the coating, and then they do the exact same thing. And when I say exact same thing, the coating will break. Once you get broken coating, you get broken wire. So the cheaper wire is generally soy-based. You don't want soy-based wiring coating, okay? So don't buy cheap wire when you're doing stuff like this. And do not try to make a splice in the middle of the door jamb. It'll work for a little, but because these wires are so old and brittle, they will just continue to break. So you have to do it on each side of the actual door jamb. So we have our three wires here again. We have the one that is already cracked, we have the one that is not cracked, and we have our new stuff here. So this stuff, still not bad. This stuff does not bend as easy. It takes a lot more force, but this stuff, which is already broke, you can see it just wants to continuously bend right where that crack is. So when you go back the other way, it opens up there and you get like a M or W kind of shape there. So if you're having problems with your windows or doors in your crew cab there in the back, this is generally going to be your problem. And like I said, this is not bad. This is worse. But whenever they're broken half, which I have seen, that's pretty much the end of the road there. So you need to take your section of wire here, and you need to make sure that you splice on each side of the door jamb itself. So you're going to be splicing here and here. Now, this is the only proper way to fix any breaks in the middle here, and getting these things apart and back together can be a real bear sometimes. And basically what you have to do is put it all together and splice it. I always use solder when I'm doing these, and marine grade heat shrink underneath these connections, underneath this tape that we have here. And the reason I do that is because the crimps make it too big. So if you use a butt splice connector, you'll never get these rubber boots back over them without having some major problems. So this is the fix. If you have a problem with your rear door harness, you have to splice over here, you tear all this apart, and you put it all back together. And that's the proper way to fix these. On the crew cab we have outside here, you can see we have our wiring, and this is the protective coating, and it is not broken on this truck here. So we don't have any problems with this truck here with this wire breaking. However, it does have the slow door locks, and that is all linkage problems. So this slow door lock is because of the linkage that's inside this door. So on the other crew cab we have here, you can see that the coating is starting to split here. So this rubber coating is starting to split. So it's kind of starting to fail already. However, on the other side, we have more problems. On this side over here, you can see our coating is already split. You can see that this wire is already starting to break here. And it's actually split down here too. So this is going to be a problem here for this door, and we'll have to repair all of this wiring here, because whenever we get into it here, this is eventually going to break, and then we're going to start having problems with our wiring in our doors here. We showed you this truck here. It does not have any broken wires down here in the door jamb at all. However, the lock is still very, very slow. You can see I have to keep hitting the lock button to make it go down, and I keep having to press the unlock button to make it come up. So yeah, these locks slow. The only way to fix the slow lock is to re-engineer the door locking system or replace your lock actuator. Neither of which are fun, neither of which I have done. I have replaced lock actuators in the back of these. However, I have not replaced one with a new one. So I don't know what you could really do to make that lock actuator better. However, if you do have problems with your windows not working or your lock not working at all, I would definitely start with your wiring down there in the door jamb, because the door jamb wiring is definitely a problem on crew cab trucks. So if you've got a crew cab and your rear windows don't work, your locks don't work, definitely check that wiring in the door jamb. Slow locks are not going to be attributed to the wiring in the door jamb, but the slow locks are just old internals, lots of linkage. However, the wiring does require you to remove it from the door to be repaired. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of messing around. Getting the harness out is not fun, because you have to take the door panel off, take the handle off, and there's some rivets in there. You got to pop rivets out to get the harness all the way out. And you have to pull off some of your B-pillar trim to unplug everything, get it all out, and you have to take all those grommets and everything off. It's a job. So the repair itself takes 2 to 3 hours. You know, make sure you do it properly, do it correctly. You want to make sure you use good quality wire, and make sure your splices are good and clean and tight. So this can be a daunting, process that nobody wants to do. I don't like doing it either. It's tedious, it's time consuming. Usually I sit myself on a chair with a table and just do it. So we had to do this one. We had to do this one. We were going to have to do the other one that's outside here. So, this is, it's definitely a crew cab problem. So definitely check your wiring out if you're having crew cab rear door problems. So hopefully this will help you guys out in diagnosing issues with your truck. And hopefully we'll try to keep some more of these OBS trucks on the road. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one.